Come one, come all, come everybody, as we are going straight into our coverage of RGL League. It's the Sixers, season 15. It's invite week 5B. It's been a long time here, and yeah, your boy Turret has had a long rest alongside Samus on production and your boy Ben PL. Ben, how did you enjoy your break?
Yeah, it's been pretty good. Yeah, obviously there's not been a great deal of Team Fortress 2 action happening on our side of the pond lately. So yeah, it's been nice to chill out. We've had the final beginnings of summer, like weather-wise at least. But yeah, it's been good to get back in the game and catch up because yeah, we last games we casted were week 2, I think, and now
Yeah.
we're shooting through all the way into week 5. So should be pretty good as the season's getting on.
Yeah, we for this coverage, we decided to go with Anglerfish versus like a G6. This is the Invite Week 5B, if you've been paying attention at all. And like you said, we've taken a fair amount of break, and there is obviously a recognizable name in like a G6 and maybe the lesser known team in Anglerfish. But just to give you a little bit of background here, Ben PL in Twitch chat and Samus, this team is one that came through a qualifier. They kind of weaseled their way a little bit into the qualifier. I think they got like a forfeit in from some team, and some teams dropped and whatnot. And their goals, basically, if we could trust an article over on Team Forge TV, is they're just aiming for like 6th or 5th, which they're doing a pretty good job so far, because I think throughout the competition, the Gorillas ended up dropping, and now they're basically fighting and pitting themselves against Mafia to just not come last in the season. And obviously anything they can get away from like a G6 today would be put them in a very cushy position.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, obviously they're sort of towards that like bottom half of the table, but they've had some decent results through these last couple of weeks. But yeah, obviously like a G6 coming in as one of the favourites, and imagine for the season until this game they've won everything. I will not spoil the result of this one, but at the point of this game being played, they've won everything so far, just clean 7-0, I think, on a match played from like a G6. Obviously, names plenty of us have heard of, and going to be favourites to be coming up to the top of the league. But yeah, I guess we can. Should we start getting ready to shoot off on this one?
Yeah, yeah. Usually I would go through the rosters and all that, but I'm inching in a way. It's been a long time since I've had a bit at the TF2 tap, so I'm ready to get started. I'm already prepared on tick 500. I hope everybody else is, and I'll count us down to a
Yep, I'm good for a countdown.
3, 2, 1, and go.
Here we are. Yep, RGL week number 5B as we roll out on Metalworks. And one thing I want to note here is that the Blue Dowerman, the Anglerfish Dowerman, 512 MiG-21 base, is playing with the Quickie Bomb launcher. So see what impact this can have on the first mid.
Yeah, and already Tristan kind of showing a bit of aggro, trying to maybe bait some players or some initial damage. We'll finally go in for the initial bump into Lol Guy now. Doesn't quite connect though. Nice surf from Lol Guy, and they've got problems on their own side of things over on Anglerfish, as Cap has already kind of locked down their house area. Got the flank going on, hard flank round, waiting for the medic. Actually gets a finishing shot onto the scout as well, and they're leaving the medic to last, it seems, but he's taking the scout taxi all the way back to last and will keep himself alive, but they're already pushing into last here, Ben.
Yeah, but there's still a scout to cap mid, there's still a scout to cap second as well, so it's all about now, just can they pressure in, can they perhaps try and get out of force or something with no Downman on that blue side, but Downman spawning in, they're getting the rest of their players up now, with Tristan being traded out for Logan in the lobby. It means now that the defending side, Anglerfish, they can sort of maybe get themselves set up, and actually they want to go even more than there. They see Dowerman down, they're taking lobby and potentially looking to go for something. No, deciding against it. Respectable decision to get a bit of damage to Lol Guy, but have to back out all the way.
Yeah, they kind of went in dry from that shutter door, hoping that maybe they could just kind of skill something out. Marbleu will go down, and that's going to be the call to back out and get the... well, I say that. They actually get Tristan, who was overextending a bit, but he has a bit of a license to die with Marmalou going down. He's going to be back to the world of living and maybe to the front line relatively soon, though. They should be meeting each other. Soapy Meister's not waiting about. He wants to get this easy kill onto Golden, who was just watching that flank. They've even lost somebody on the other side as well. They pop off Uber because they've just lost so many souls, and it's a bit kind of hot in the water. Finally, they use an Uber charge over on like a G6, and nothing really achieved moved with it. Marmaloo just kind of dropped from the ceiling. I guess they were trying to make a play onto the lamp. I don't know. Soapy also goes down to an aggressive Tristan, who's back alive, by the way. And yeah, there's not much coordination happening between all these Ubers. Logan gets caught out fighting a scout, but actually ganged up on by a soldier. And the bot mode even goes in as well. There's no chance for it to throw it to my co-caster because the guys keep fighting, Ben.
Yeah, this is outrageous. I honestly have no idea how Leica G6 don't cap there. They're 3 picks up, and they get the enemy Uber forced out first. But I guess Lolgai has to pop as well. But even so, they had so much time, and yeah, they just didn't manage to get on the cap. The Uber on the defensive side from Anglerfish was played so well, and eventually enough players bled out on the red side in that Uber exchange that they're managing to push out onto second and going potentially looking in through the house as well. But it seems at the moment like they're going to have to back up. Lost one player in Unicorn Wizards, so going to just get themselves set up on second and see what pressure can come in. It looks like actually Ali has already been taken. There's no messing about from either of these teams so far. It's lightning pace.
Okay, well, they've exchanged Ubers, but Tristan kind of postures as a sort of double bomb, hoping to kind of force the Uber out there. It makes me wonder if these teams are all on the same page with their game plan, as it looked like, you know, again, throwing in that Roma for the force, but then just forcing it out with your own Uber. I don't see what the game... Oh my goodness, Soapy just destroyed Golden, and Tristan at least brings down... him down for his foreign comrade, and yeah, the scouts are just way too much. They then cap off last to just cap it off, and 1 round already on the board. It's looking pretty overwhelming.
Yeah, absolutely. I think obviously they get the kill on Lolgai there on the second point, but it's like at what cost? They lost a couple of players. They had to use out their own Uber charge, like you said, and they're just constantly on the back foot. And yet they've still got a medic, but like heals to like 3 players, and last is going to make it fairly difficult.
Whoa! Let's have a head count here. What Logan's on medic, Lolgai's on demo man. The soldiers are the same at least, but yeah, we've had a medic switch up onto demo man and a demo man onto medic. Well,
Mum said it's my turn on the demo man. 1 round each, I guess, is the way they're going, and doing a decent amount of damage so far, doing better than the enemy demo man. Anglerfish already down their explosive class, but so a couple of nice rockets there in from Unicorn Wizard, going to catch Logan, who's the new medic over on the Leica G6 side, and give some small consolation at the end of this one, despite it not going all too well up until this point. Is Lolgai on the sticky jumper? I believe I
that's the question you want to ask. Yeah, I want to ask, why the hell did they switch? Like, this is not obviously, if you're living under a rock, you've never watched Team Fortress 2 before in a competitive setting. This doesn't happen. Like, you don't really switch off your different mains and whatnot just for the hell of it. Nobody's kind of rocking any sort of clever, you know, outlook on demo man and medic when you make the switch vice versa. One guy's just going to be better and one guy's just going to be worse. So. I mean, maybe just kind of giving themselves. It is the first seed of the tournament versus basically almost the last seed of the league as well. So maybe just taking it easy on them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's very, very few situations where you see people like, obviously people off class to other classes, but like amongst like the actual main core classes, not something you see at all really, other than the odd specific scenario. Well, it seems like it's going reasonably well, I guess, for Lolgai and demo so far. As the Uber charge gets traded in. Lolgai's living for what? The bats? Golden? Oh, that's a little bit embarrassing.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. We'll forget about that. We'll move on. Second point being capped up now by Leica G6 as they're moving in with full Uber ad into enemy lobby. With 1 pickup as well, should be looking to pressure this one straight away. Gun's getting built, but it's only level 1 so far behind the crates as that's taken down. Uber charge running all the around behind the point. Cap going to be there straight towards the spawn doors. The medic, 2 soldiers, Demoman Scout, just a heavy now left up alive on the Anglerfish side, doing a decent bit of damage, but this Quickie Bomb launcher over on Lolgai. And I mentioned at the start, the Quickie Bomb launcher doing some pretty decent work so far.
I'm sorry, I can't move past it. That Uber was awful. That was,
it was horrendous.
One of the worst Ubers I've ever seen.
It was
not only
really
in like,
bad.
not even in choice of timing as well. I mean, popping Uber just to force an Uber and then hopefully you can back out there. I don't know what the game plan was, even if it went successful. And when it goes unsuccessful like that, I just transport myself back to 2009 and everyone pointing last at the scout like, this is why you don't Uber a scout. Because that was the main reason right there. Scouts miss and the Uber's just done nothing.
When the back comes out, you know that it's all gone wrong. when the basher is out to try to hit the demo man who's still at 150 HP, it's not going too well at all. And speaking of going too well, these last mid-fights haven't gone exactly Anglerfish's way, but this time, again, going to be getting quite a bit of space up top, and a kill into Cap. Tristan and the Demoman taken down. Actually, as the counter-aggression, Lolguy hitting some nice pipes now. Maybe Lolguy should have been on demo to start with.
Yeah, it was a nice fishing pipe. The lock and load just has that effect about it. It's almost like a missile, like that just shoots past you so quickly, it slaps you dab in the face. Nice couple of crossbows from Logan here, so they're going to be feeling themselves, both Lolguy and Logan having their moments on their off class.
Yeah, absolutely, and now going to be re-aggressing in. Tristan going to land one nice rocket there onto Logan, almost managed to sneak that one through there, just falls like down the, almost like comedic timing that the soldier falls just down the little gap between the bridge and a little bit of high ground, so can't get that second rocket away, but Logan there looking to get away with their life.
Okay.
Ooh, and the pressure on the demo. Both down either side as the gun's taken out. These Ubers come in very, very early. Second point is nowhere near capped up yet, and this might well be a successful defense for now, at least.
Yeah, that was a quick trigger finger from Mig, who just literally held off in connector and hoped that he's going to click that quicker than Logan's going to pop off his Uber. And yeah, managed to get a demo man kill. Does kind of surrender himself immediately to the Uber hour, so at best it was just going to be a trade. But that's enough to kind of shunt the last push for them, because you kind of need all your dogs barking if you want to make these last push on Metalworks happen.
Yeah, absolutely. But I guess one thing I've noticed in these last couple of holds is correct me if I'm wrong, have like Anglerfish actually managed to get like at least like a level 2 gun up like at all in these like last defenses? Like they're currently still, they had like level 1 behind the crates right that one time, and that's been about it. They've just sort of been content to sit here with scouts most of the time.
Yeah, I think there's been a couple of level 2s at least, or level 3s. It's not been too much really happening with them. It's not really the thing that stops it too long when it comes in for the Uber pushes. They just kind of clear it up and tidy it up from that point. So they haven't really had too much impact. It's never come down to the wire like that. It's more these little flanks and these random sort of moments that G6 want to push in kind of catches Anglerfish off guard immensely. They throw in a soldier now.
Shot. I like the effort with the speed shot, just like flying in, but
Logan.
actually the drop comes in.
Yeah, Tristan seeing whenever a soldier jumps in again, a roaming soldier's just beaming with delight. It's like, oh, I get to play the game now, and they can kind of jump in and not really feel the stinging sort of cost of that. Marmaloo hiding behind was the pop-in Uber over on Ali and company, and they've already backed out. There's nobody to really fight here on second point. It's kind of a blind pop, because I don't think anybody was on second at the entire point there for G6.
Yeah, like it was, completely blind. Like there's no one really to kill. They get that one kill underneath on Marmaloo, but I guess the one sort of not too bad thing about this, as you can see, Soapy's bombing in, gonna go for a huge thing, just misses it. But because they've used so early after that drop, it means the Ubers aren't that bad over on Anglefish's side. They're like, what, 10-20% behind in regards to Ubers, rather than if they tried to like hold it on and then had a bad Uber, and they'd be a significant disab. But it actually doesn't matter maybe, because these soldiers over on the G6 side and the scouts too are just hurling themselves straight over towards Ally. Botmo is going to be getting in the house, somehow getting a kill there. I don't know how that was allowed to happen. Goes in 1v4, but the next soldier comes flying in. Soapy just bypasses everyone, going straight onto the second point, playing some sort of jump metalworks, I guess, for Soapy.
They're really scared about this soldier going behind. They pop off Uber now, I guess, in dealing with G6 coming in, but I don't really see what the play was there, because they're just going to respond with their own Uber, and now Ali has just got Cap right on top of him, and he's going to go down. Thankfully, Logan kind of hung about there for unnecessarily and goes down as well to the aggressors of Anglerfish, and everyone's going to go back and lick their wounds and cap their points, Ben.
Yeah, with the medics down on either side, going to be roughly even, but it's all about what this pressure can do straight away before those Ubers even come up. Botmo coming in, getting that one frag as both soldiers jump straight in onto the point, going to get quite a lot of caps.
Oh
I think there was a pain train on one of those as well. Gets so much, but it's just about enough from Golden there, just to keep that point just slightly in the red. So, might have wave number 2 coming in now with only 3 survivors on the defensive side. Faking Uber, not sure that's going to fake anyone, given that both the medics have only just spawned in, but again, the spy coming up now as well, and Soapy, like, G6, they just want to get this game over and done with, and they're just going to hurl players at it.
Yeah, they're finally going to go engineer now, try and set up and take advantage of that respawn. And we've got a spy being rocked out by Soapy. Usually the temptation to play spy is just too, well, tantalizing. He actually is starting to cap the point right underneath their noses, puts a lot of people onto the cap point and a lot of pressure from there. But between the sentry gun and the people alive, I don't think cap time's going to cut it here. They just throw Marmalu onto the point. I think he is the one that usually rocks the pain train as well, so hoping that that point pressure just kind of sinks in. But they pop off Uber charge. I guess they're going for a point play over on G6, but it's just not possible with all the assets of like the sentry gun, the Uber charge as well, and just 6 active players. Maybe if
Soapy's
they did
still
that spy earlier.
Soapy's still in again. This is like full on like one, like it's the conveyor belt of players running in one at a time, like you say. And even in the Uber, like 2, 3 players maybe even got dropped during that Uber in from G6 there. It was very, very messy, just charging onto the point. I guess the thing, when you've got like so much cap time on last, there is sort of a tendency to like be tempted to think, oh, if just one nice rocket pops someone in the air, or we get stickies on the point or something, maybe we can just sneak a cheesy little cap through. But when it doesn't work, you just end up losing all your players. You have to spy up and all sorts. But nope, going to be up onto second for the Anglerfish side, and with decent Ubrad as well, so they can walk this even further should they wish to do so. 2 soldiers up on the Batman position, both jumping round towards enemy alley, but it's not that bad because the Uber charge is coming straight in through main. I'm going to be catching out Logan too, but actually, maybe it does matter because the entire flank has died over Anglerfish.
Yeah, they threw everybody behind, and they're already capping that second point, but they've got that pain train doing its work, and in the haste of getting people behind or back to the point, they are so low and can't really defend it when they get there. Soapy Master will be on that point, but not for long. It brings back everybody, so it was nice play in, you know, a very dangerous sense. If that flank was just like a little bit more solid, or if they were able to kind of turn around a bit quicker and establish what they were trying to play off here on G6, it would have been very punishing.
Yeah, well now, going to be second point potentially getting recaptured here. Demoman down is going to make it a little bit harder, and is that... I just heard a rocket jumper, I think. Is Soapy on the rocket jumper? Are we into like the equivalent of garbage time with 15 minutes to play at 2-0? Because this is getting quite surreal at this point. I don't know, it just throws you off completely. I just hear the noise now, the fear it strikes. Especially knowing that like the funny spoon is available for these players, like... I don't know.
Yeah, they obviously G6 kind of taking a kind of a back pedal on this entire gameplay. It looks like they want to have a bit more fun or go for a bit more unorthodox strats, just to see if they can even be done and pulled off.
Nearly.
But they will pop off Uber over on Logan now because of the force coming in from that soldier and the water was just a little too hot. They can hang around a bit over on Anglerfish, but with only 2 combat classes and everybody trying to backcap their souls behind them and just as many people in front of them as well, it's just too much. They've actually split off here. The medic is away from his demo man and medic, and maybe that was the right play because they had a scout waiting in the wings. I think that was bot mode, waiting for that medic to back out the entire way.
Yeah, I guess silver lining here though for Anglerfish that they did actually cap mid. In all of this, in all this madness of things happening on the flank, the combo were there on mid. They capped the point out, and that means that this horrendous like back cap attempt thing is not going to be as deadly as it could have been. Tristan's maybe going to be going to block this on the midpoint, but bot mode's going to have that one under wraps. In the meantime, we've just got everyone sat in this forward spawn, and it's so dangerous with stickies on it as well, and everyone just sat staring at it. But they're going to have to back up a little bit, so... Wait a second, they don't know Soapy's here, right? On last.
Oh my god, I didn't know.
I didn't know it's I was thinking like quick head count.
No, they have no. Obviously, they have no clue. I don't think they would keep him around for decoration purposes. But he is 64 HP. I don't think he can even fall down and not like kill himself to the crater. They pop off Uber now. They probably needs a crossbow from Logan at some point. So they're entering this like a V6. Hope he's not even shooting a single bullet right now, or single rocket I should say. Gets a quick crossbow. I don't think anybody noticed that, so they are playing for this long con. They finally see what's going on. Wondering where is Soapy during all of this? Why are they a soldier down? and it's because he's memeing up there on the lamp. And with Logan back onto cap is actually speaking of back onto cap, it's back cap from bot mode and will go down. They seem obsessed with this idea of just kind of cheesing them over on G6.
Yeah, I feel like if they just sort of go for like sort of a traditional push in and even Ubers, maybe it would go a bit better. But actually, never mind, because Marble are going to be straight in there. A couple of nice rockets, one into big, one into ally, going to force out the Uber charge. And yeah, maybe this is the problem that we as Anglerfish have had like a lot this game, is like in these transitions, they're just getting caught off guard all the time. It's like their flanks getting bombed, the combos getting bombed, someone sneaking behind, they're Ubering in onto nothing. Like these, I don't think there's been a single like push that I'd say has gone like to plan over on the Anglerfish side. Like some of them they've capped the point and such, but there's always been concessions. And again, they're losing basically everyone. 2 players left up on this last point to defend. There's a pyro out from Sophie Meister who's going to be sure they got some grand plan for how that one's going to work out. It seems like the Great Mage is going to win out that 1v1 against the Demo Man of LOL guys. Actually, Anglerfish restabilising back in. They just about held off long enough on that cap on second point for Anglerfish to get their spawners in. And actually now, up quite a lot of players.
Yeah, G6 are just holding down the W key for better or for worse, and does put them in weird situations on Anglerfish that they're probably not used to. And all the constant action when you just feels like you want to keep up with the treadmill, and they've got the flanking pyro right on top of Ali. A lot of damage onto the scouts and them, man. They're probably going to get burnt down out here as well, unless they can find a health pack. Actually, Golden will, but poor Mig will not. But that's a medic down from, I'm going to say it again, the flanking pyro.
Yeah, there was the flanking pyro, but there was also the fact that like the 2 teams just bypassed each other completely. There was no one clearing house over on the Anglerfish side, so the G6 combo can just walk in for free. And again, medics go down on either side, so it seems like a common theme this game, and that's maybe why G6 are not like they're not able to press home these advantages as cleanly, because although they're having a lot of space and player advantages, the Ubers not been crazy in their favour so far. As the life expectancy of Logan and Ally has not been good this game. I guess with the nature of the game, right, everyone's trying to flank, everyone's going for crazy players. There's a new demo man and new medic on the G6 roster that's maybe going to cause those sorts of things. But still, Sophie on the pyro running it in onto last, spamming this shot to see if they can get anything working there. But it's going to be hard. Is Marmaloo's going to get teleporter up as well? Okay, we're in for the long haul.
Now, that Stopey does go down on the pyro. I was going to say that as trolly as this pyro seems, I think there's actually some credence to rocking a pyro in America, at least, as it's got that detonator weapon that's pretty good at clearing sticky traps. But they pop off Uber. They, I guess, are milking it for all it's worth. They really were completely willing to lose their demo man for this, and Logan just sits on the point for the last second, hoping that maybe he can just get some cap time. Again, we're all just having fun here. We've got a sentry gun over on G6, holding second, and yeah, Marmaloo upgrading his teleporter, or at least getting it set up quickly, so allow his team. Like maybe you could think of some big gameplay, fast-paced thing here, where you have some people suicide in, but not get them in the fight quicker. They've lost Soapy back. Again, who's back on the soldier, and an Uber pop off in. Now this is a good Uber. If it wasn't for a sentry gun on second, this is going to kind of flummox them a little bit, and now give us plenty of time for Logan to back out with the rest of his squad. Fortunately, they don't have their own Uber charge just yet, so they should have this second point on lockdown.
Oh, Tristan dying to afterburn just before the arrow comes in as well. That's kind of rough to see, but that gun spot is actually very powerful. I've got to say, like, the surprise fact, like it caught Golden out completely on the first push, but also like it covers pretty much every entranceway into second, and you can't stand on the point anywhere to like edge cap without it starting to shooting you. Like it's such a rough place to clear as well. It's so hard to spam. So yeah, pretty good idea, I guess, putting it there rather than any of the other spots. But I guess obviously level 3 sentry gun on second point is maybe not exactly what you're thinking about most of the time. But this game's different, as we know, as we've still got the pyro, we've still got a sniper now, a LOL guy, no demo man at all over on the G6 side. As the points are actually rolling forward now. Midpoint going to be capped up again for, I believe, the second, maybe third time this game over an Anglerfish. So maybe they can get themselves on the board, maybe they can get themselves a consolation, get themselves in the game somehow, at least maybe force G6 to be a bit more sensible towards the tail end of this game, as Tristan going to jump in and underneath, just going to get the health pack, but takes a fair bit of damage. His cap goes down on the Pyro this time, so pressure in, Ubercharge used as well, looking pretty damn good now for Anglerfish.
Yeah, during all this though, bot mode is behind, and this would be a little less effective if he didn't actually bring Unicorn Wizard also behind, kind of playing into his game as well. And what's even worse is bot mode gets the kill onto Unicorn Wizard, so this kind of enables bot mode to kind of reconnect in, and it's like a pincer maneuver. He's coming in on the back of Ali right now, pressuring them, whereas the rest of his team though could do with some backup. Ali is caught in no man's land, will go down to that sort of backstab attempt from the entire team, and yeah, G6 able to easily cap off this point with heals in tow. Tristan has not been accounted for, however. He is half health, so can't really jump in right behind now. There is a scout also on top of Logan. Does get vaporized down by Lil Guy. And yeah, I think this is, again, I'm going to give him benefit of the doubt. There's just some unusual situations for Anglerfish to deal with, and they're probably not quite astute about what is best to combat this, at least in the heat of battle. You know, these officials, they get high pressure and you kind of lose your head a bit.
Yeah, no, it's always tough. Obviously, like, yeah, like, made a mistake of it. Like, G6 are they're not trying the hardest with some of these players and such, but they're it seems like they're throwing off Anglerfish a lot of the time there, because obviously it's a team with so many strong, experienced players. Logan actually getting caught out, as I say that, and the on the push in to those cheeky little sticky bombs, but yeah, it's always going to catch you off. It's always going to be hard, and it's always when the games get like this messy, it's always just going to favour like the better team, and it's always going to favour the more experienced team. And yeah, like, it looks like Anglerfish so far are really struggling to deal with, like, even before like all the off classes and stuff, like the constant flank pressure that was coming in, and like every time a push happened, there was someone going for some sort of crazy play on a flank or a bomb, or there was some weird like hiding spot, and every time it just seems to be working in G6's favour. And even now they've got a 4 times in the back cab with Lolgai and Marmalou, so anything can really happen. So he's now taking Mantle up on demo.
Oh, they even use the crit screen as well. It seems like Anglerfish are getting in on the action, and I guess you could say that, you know, crit screen is perfectly legitimate, but Golden's even rocking that weird scout pistol on top of it all as well. Lolgai's made another switch in the midst of all this game. Soapy is now playing Demoman. Cap is on what seems to be full-time Pyro, and I can hear the sounds of other weapons I don't even know the name of.
Yeah, the sticky jumper and the rocket jumper ones, like, it's got like a very distinctive sound, but there's some of these I have no idea. Like, no, in Europe we just ban everything that came out after like the second update to TF2, so like we can have like the Ubersaur and that's about it over on our side. But yeah, Logan getting caught out completely behind everyone. The quickie bomb launcher onto Golden is going to just about get that one in rather odd circumstances. As he's Demoman, mano a mano, 1v1. Is Soapy going to maybe go for this? No, spotted out, decides against it. The low ground going to have to back up and out. So 5 minutes left to play. We've currently, head count, we've got only 1 Pyro as the off class, but there's a few of the classes have mixed up over on the red side, and it's going to be a bit of a crit advantage over on Anglerfish. So maybe if they can hold off for a little bit, maybe they've got the quickie bomb launcher crits, as seems like the ideal weapon for the job. With that fast arm time, you can sort of charge in, but actually Tristan's going to be the one bombing in around and getting that first kill onto the Pyro of Cap. So now players sort of opening up a little bit now as Tristan, never mind, gets caught out after one more onto Marmalou, but it seems like Anglerfish still want to go in for this Valley.
Yeah, that's a force of nature also being rocked by Golden, so they are flanking round over on G6. They're realising that if we just go straight to second and start capping off this point, they can't really stay committed to this middle kind of attack. They've used the crits over on Ali, but by the time they get to them, the crits is actually dissipated. Botmo managing to keep himself alive for way too long. Lol guy is hiding also in the wings. Cap is just running in, pyroing it up, does go down. The medic heals are just too much, and they're actually hoping to just leave Tristan behind here because they just know the shenanigans of G6 are wearing on them, so better to just leave a player behind. And oh nope, Marmalou manages to kind of kick back with his team. and on the second point and get this back cap train going. They actually bring back all the 3 players on mid that were fighting and capping off that point, however, so maybe in a way it's done its job. They have steamrolled them over in this house area, and yeah, Cap is his turn to jump in, but he's just going to go down instantaneously. This is why you don't really see much pyro in this sort of capacity. And yeah, I mean, if you play with your food long enough, Ben, you're going to end up making a mess. Whether or not it's a mess of the team or mess of your team is, well, still to be said.
Yeah, because now there is a full advantage, although it is on the crit screen, this is where sort of with these positions where like you've been on a crits from like, I don't know, both medics dying at the same time, or because you're on your own last and you're pushing out. This is where it gets a little bit awkward, because this would have been a full advantage of like a regular advantage if the Uber gun was the regular one, but this time it's the crits, but it doesn't matter. The big sticky bomb over the top onto Logan. Tristan gets taken down though regardless, and the gun can't be dealt with by these crits, so gonna live up for a bit. But Logan and Marmley both getting taken down is absolutely huge for this push in, and more kills coming in. Botmo goes down, gun taken down also. Anglerfish might be getting around here as there's pressure over towards the point. Soapmite's going to jump in, and the round comes through. Anglerfish get one on the board. 2 minutes left to play before we go into overtime, and they've got their consolation.
Yeah, the key point about taking the medic kill like that is it's hard for them to kind of recommit in over on G6 and just kind of take presence. Any sort of damage that they take is going to feel mighty permanent on that last defense. So they were all just kind of hiding out in base, and it was fortunate they took so long for them to take out that sentry gun, otherwise it would have been a quicker round.
Yeah, one of the downsides of crits, right, is you can't tank the sentry gun, and nor can you get the bonus 3 times damage onto it either. As we go into what could well be the final mid fight of this game, as Unicorn Wizard jumps out over, actually gets 2 kills there on the enemy pack, so that's a pretty decent start to this one for the Anglerfish team, as now they've got plenty of space to work with, 3 picks for the price of 1. As they start actually just leaving 1 player behind, they've got 4v3 on this second point, and they're going to take space in through enemy alley. And yeah, it seems like G6 is going to have to start getting out. Botmode runs out to lobby along with Soapmeister and Logan, and now, yeah, midpoint, second point, both been capped up really nicely. Been a bit of a turnaround.
Yeah, Cap is now playing the Demoman class. I wonder if they are going to keep rotating. Yeah, they've rotated LOL guy into this Demoman class as well. I don't think even he was the reason they lost that mid. It was just a nice early bomb from Tristan killing people on the health pack, and then they kind of snowballed it from there, from their positions. And yeah, like now G6 don't really have a sentry gun, nothing really prepared for this push. They're just kind of going cookie cutter as cookie cutter could be, and this is why you want to usually use a sentry gun or some kind of heavy weapons guy. It dissuades scouts from just Wing in like that, and obviously Logan doesn't want to hold that close, at least I guess not in this team iteration. They just feel like maybe they want to prioritize his position more than their Demoman's.
Yeah, absolutely. It was so close actually there. I think it was Tristan jumping over the top, trying to get it onto Logan. Doesn't quite manage. He just gets that 1 rocket, and Logan is able to survive. Maybe lived a bit longer than they would in Europe as well, because they're still using the old gunboats plugin, so they don't take quite as much damage when hitting direct onto enemies point blank range. But this time it seems that Tristan can be the one going in again. There's a fair few airshot attempts coming through, and actually Logan gets caught out on Demoman. But 1 with the price of 2. Just Demoman going down for a soldier and a scout. Probably worth it there on the defending side as we enter into overtime. So first 3 rounds takes it now, as we're still in constant scrapping back and forth between this last point and this lobby. Like neither team can catch a break. They're all just like, right, 1 pick up, we'll start pressuring in, and now it's actually suddenly 3 picks up, 4 picks up now over on the Anglerfish side. They're really bullying their way in through the chokes. They get the force out over onto Logan and onto Soapmeister. Ubercharge used back up, but much better over on the Anglerfish side. Golden got a lot of work to do here in the point. Gets the kill onto LOL guy, the demo man, as Cap jumps in behind on Soldier now, and everyone powers to the point, and naturally we've equalised up.
Yeah, that was really good. Well played from the scouts of Anglerfish to kind of, weasel their way in, take advantage of those soldiers and that area of the map where it's just particularly hard to fight off as a soldier. And yeah, so let's see what sort of response they have over on G6 now. It is tied up a piece. I think they've gone back to normal classes because they're rolling up the sleeves and realizing, okay, boys, we can't just throw away points here. We've got a lead to win. As they are the first seed, they don't want to slip up points just to the potential last seed.
It would be very funny if Anglerfish won this round. I'm just going to put it out there. It will be very funny. But so far, this mid-fight does seem to be going G6's way. They're doing great damage, some really nice lock-and-load pipes over the top of everything, and land some good damage onto Megas. 2 picks up, including a Demoman down over on the Anglerfish side, and Tristan nearly managed to get that kill onto Cap. That could have been also important there. Just at least clawed 1 back, but it seems like G6 are on a bit of a roll now. They've taken mid, they're going to take second point, and they're already pressing their way through into last. There's a quickie bubble launcher on the defense. There's still waiting on that 1 spawner over on Tristan, but yeah, G6 is a new team, right? They're like, right, roll up the sleeves, start trying now. It's looking a lot better.
Yeah, turn on those monitors, stop playing the keyboard with your hands instead of your feet, and, just really kicking into gear. So this time, though, they are doing a couple of hit mistakes, but they're not getting everything that they were hoping for with these sort of Soapy Meister hyper flanks and chases. And we're at last point. We've got 100% Uber charges of both these teams. They're running both Cookie Cutter. I think it allows, obviously, Anglerfish to kind of turn these fights around. If they do get a good defense, they can maybe push out to second best that a little bit quicker. They're rocking the sniper, however, on bot mode. You need some sort of advantage if you're going into this last right. So let's see what he can kind of turn up. They're going to open this shutter door for him and see what he can fish out.
They've pressured so far into lockers though, right? They just got so much space absolutely for free. As soon as Tristan went down, no roamer, and that means the roamer's normally the one holding out that locker's side, but nope. Not going to be able to get too much with it, despite them getting, like, I think it was a scout, a medic, and a soldier all the way through, just on the high ground, just looking over, but no one was able to push through. So Meister gets caught out, despite the distraction being there, and decides to go up on the spy again. Does no changes off into soldier. Was thinking about it for a moment. It's going to be bot mode on the sniper still, but again, there's still 2.5 minutes to play with the guns still getting upgraded on that all-important crate spot. As are we going into our first proper last stalemate of the game?
Yeah, a lot more respect being given by these teams now. And again, I think this favors Anglerfish. I think they looked very uneasy with just all these, I guess, cute plays happening. Oh, the drop coming out from the pressure from that corridor, and the kind of other side has kind of came in from Marmalou, getting the drop. They even get the snipe as well onto the poor engineer who can't keep that sentry gun alive. And yeah, it's just so simple now. Just get the stickies on the point. They don't even get the stickies on the point. They got the Zeromans on the point. They get for the 3rd round on the board, and that should be it if Banny rules and Unity rules are all correct. And yeah, that's the game over.
Yeah, it's a rough ending right there with like the one moment that people turn their attention away from that far right hand side and Anglerfish. Marmalou just walks straight in and just 2 rockets the medic, really close range, never missing in from that range. And yeah, like again, the quality shows, right? Like that sort of like last 5 minutes shows, right? This is what Jesus is capable of. And the rest of the season, they've not dropped a map yet. They're still rolling high at the top of the league, having a great season so far. But yeah, gotta say they let it run a bit close. They were in control. Let it get to 2-2, but those messy players like say Anglerfish, like they were just caught completely ablaze in those situations.
Yeah, I think this team got caught pretty flustered. It's very hard to think thematically about why certain classes or certain things work in this game when it comes to the bare bones or certain bones you've just never seen. Like it's like, how do you fight a pyro that's just literally running in your face all the time? And it isn't until you've had those couple of times just dogpiling all those buffed up people onto a pyro and like, oh right, this is pretty easy. I wonder what this is why nobody runs it. But G6 just having some fun. There are obviously some things that Anglerfish could work on there. The mainly just timings of Ubers is the big one. But I've always had a beef, it seems, with America, and when they want to use their Ubers, they are a lot more proactive with their Ubers than I would ever be. I think it has to be good, and opportunity needs to arise. I think that whilst their Ubers are more like about making opportunities, it seems, for America. But that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, I think we saw a lot of that. Like I made a point of it in the cast, like about 20 minutes in. I was like, has there actually been a good Uber from Anglerfish yet? Like there was years where they got space from it and that, but they weren't getting
Yeah.
exactly the amount they needed. Right, there was some positions where it's like, yeah, you probably could have pushed without using here, or sometimes they left it too long. And the times when they do take the favourable Ubers and you look at the combo and it's going absolutely fantastic, it turns out that that's because on the flank things are just falling apart at the seams, and suddenly Soapy's like backcapping with Pain Train, and there's a scout
Yeah.
in behind house, and it's just all falling apart. Like it just gets better, and especially in games like this, obviously where G6 they're not taking it entirely seriously. They're playing a bit loose, and they're going for these crazy plays. It constantly must keep you on edge. So I imagine after
Mm.
players like that, they're thinking, right, we're just going to use early, go for like the I guess maybe low risk, but also kind of sometimes high risk idea of like we're just going to make sure we don't drop too many things silly, we don't drop too many players. We'll just play it like that, and you get in your own head a little bit. And I felt like that happened a bit on the side of Anglerfish, like getting in their own heads with these pushes, and especially after you've been back capped or dropped or just completely kited so many times, like that's bound to happen.
Yeah, and it's pretty easy for me to sit here and say like, oh well, just ignore them behind, or just calculate, what player is behind, and just leave them behind. You don't need to have a soldier, or bring back the entire core of the team to deal with that one scout. What's he going to do on mid anyway? When really just all you see is like in the chaos, like someone's capping your mid and you're at second, you're like, oh, we have to go back. I can't assume my teammates are going to do this or do that. And usually that's where you need the level head of a good main caller that's just got really a fantastic sort of sense of the game and game sense of like what's going on, and what's okay to give away and not to give away, and then just getting your troops to actually listen to you as well and trust your word. Because again, in that chaos, maybe everybody feels like they need to be the one to address that back cap because it's not been called out what to do if that happens.
Yeah, like it really just test like the teams like yeah, like you say, their communication, their calling, like in these situations, like when it gets messy, like that's when you really see the difference between like the really well drilled, experienced teams that have played together for years, and then you see these sort of the newer teams getting exposed. That we saw it in Prem this season as well a few times with certain teams getting exposed at certain moments just from like again lack of experience at the top level, and yeah, it'll come with time. Like obviously there's some great moments from Anglerfish,
Mm,
but yeah, they're playing the team who have not dropped map this season, so
yeah,
more can be
and
said, I guess.
the rare moments as well to actually like find in a practice game. So
Oh yeah.
what I mean is like say if you're going over some demos and you're like, okay, we're bottom, invite. Let's look at how these top invite teams, they would not do this stuff. Would not try and go for these shenanigans. They go for these plays because it feels very rock paper scissory to kind of go for these sorts of backcap plays and then have them addressed or calculated in the right way. Like if you know that you can just leave someone behind, they're worse than dead. They are literally doing nothing, and it feels so bad for you and your team when you just kind of caught behind, always on the back foot, running back to your team at last, whilst your team's getting rolled over in this sort of 4v6 situation constantly. So you just don't see it, and you don't see like why they address it, because it is very basically a a different situation for every kind. There's always context, little tiny context cues that could like switch it between like, oh no, now this makes it good and now this makes it bad. So I think it isn't until you get like a lot of experience, or maybe it's just us watching a lot of these games, that you
Yeah.
eventually pick up the cues.
Yeah. Well, yeah, well played from G6. They had it under control, right? They knew at the end they were like, right, we're confident we can win it in the one round shootout at the end, and they do. But it's going to go through as a 3-2, which I believe puts them up at 8-0 on this season, coming into the end of week 5. So I think they might have a couple of games to get caught up on later on that are getting rescheduled. I know there was like a week earlier where like basically all the games got postponed, so going to have a bit of catching up to do in that regard. But they're still sitting top of the table so far, and going to be favourites looking forward. But yeah, very impressed by what they came to offer. Anglerfish, obviously, hard to get a good vibe on them, given they were playing a team as strong as like a G6. With all the messy things going on, but you said maybe they were hoping for a 5th to 6th finish. They're currently in 6th, so
Yeah,
not all too
going
bad for them. Game in
yeah, it's
hand
going
on
to plan so
5th,
far.
so yeah.
The biggest rivals is going to be Mafia. It's whether or not
Mhm.
how they place in that Mafia game. They have had other games against like Global Clan where it's been competitive as well. So again, they have little victories and little things to kind of point out here. I think as well it's their first season in Invite, I think. So maybe a lot of this Invite is just about them solidifying, trying to just keep the boat steady and somewhat afloat for next season.
Yeah, and stay in invite, I guess, is the other thing with the teams potentially coming
Yeah.
up. But yeah, it seems to go pretty well in that regard. But I guess we start wrapping up.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah, 100%. All right. Well, thank you for joining us over on Samus TV. Obviously, a big shout out to Samus providing the TV herself as well. Big clapper to him. And a big shout out to you, Ben, for joining me on this co-cast. It's
thank
been a
you.
pleasure as always. And obviously, I'm egotistical. I'm going to give a big shout out to me, Turbotab's your caster as well. And a big shout out to you guys at home watching over in Twitch chat. This has been our coverage of RGL Week 5. We will probably be seeing you more for more of these games in the future. There's been all sorts of reschedules. So it's probably going to fluctuate between all the different weeks now. But yeah, I would be looking forward to it. We'll see you guys then.